Hello, and welcome to drillingcontractor.org. I'm Kelly Ainsworth. IADC is involved in an ongoing joint industry project to build and maintain a BOP reliability database. I'm here with Steve Kropla, Vice President of IADC's Offshore Division, to learn more about this project. How are you, Steve?
I'm good, Kelly. How are you today?
Doing well. How did IADC become involved in this project, and what is the association's role?
IDC first became involved in the JIP when we were working with IOGP through their Wells Expert Committee to respond to a letter that both of our organizations had received from the International Regulators Forum. That letter essentially asked the industry, and particularly IOGP and IADC as two leading industry organizations, to perform an evaluation of BOP functionality, reliability, and vulnerability. So we were working with them to respond to that letter. It became apparent fairly early on that there was a real lack of good data over BOP performance. So we started putting together plans for a joint industry project to start collecting that kind of information on an ongoing basis. At about the same time, we learned that a group of contractors, known as the Group of Seven, had put together a similar database to do very much the same thing. They were focused on reporting BOP failure data information to equipment manufacturers as required by API Standard 53. We didn't want to duplicate the kind of effort that they had done, and in fact, IOGP and IADC had done a lot towards working towards the governance of a JIP, whereas the Group of Seven had largely put together a lot of the technical data taxonomy for what kind of data was actually going to be collected. So we were able to combine those efforts into what is now the JIP. IADC's role in the JIP is that of the project coordinator. That means we're responsible for most of the day-to-day administration of the JIP. It seemed a natural role for IADC since most of the BOP equipment in the world is owned by drilling contractors who are IADC members. But again, we're largely responsible for overall project management, for working with the various clients and ensuring that the database is up and running smoothly.
And you've just finished phase one of this project. Can you tell us some of the key accomplishments from that phase?
One of the best things that's come of it is the development of a universal BOP database taxonomy, the type of data that's actually collected. That makes it very easy to compare different types of components between different equipment manufacturers, which wasn't such an easy thing to do before. Some of the other things that have been accomplished in phase one, some of the early findings showed that there were a lot of failures in things like control tubing, hoses, and fittings. As a result of that, a number of participants were able to review their operational, their maintenance, and their inspection procedures. And some of the participants have actually reduced the number of unplanned BOP polls by as much as 80%.
And looking ahead to phase two that's just starting, what are some of the goals?
Well, the big goal is to attract more participants. Phase two is going to open the JIP to participation from additional operators, to participation from additional subsea contractors, not just the original Group of Seven. It will expand data collection into surface BOP data as well as subsea BOP data. So now we'll be able to include contractors that operate jackup rigs and even onshore rigs. A number of equipment manufacturers are already looking at redesigning some certain components in their BOPs as a result of phase one. And we think that eventually over the long term there could be some very significant improvement in BOP design and quality assurance as a result of the JIP.
And thank you for joining us today, Steve, and giving us an update on the project.
Thank you too, Kelly. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.